Morning everyone, it's Katrin from 3Ps. Welcome to the gym. Today we're going to do a routine, which is a whole body routine. I thought I should do some introductory routines. If you're looking to get into shape for summer, this is a great basic weights workout you can do 2 to 3 times a week. I'm going to include the workout on the website, which is at www.3pspublishing.com. I'll probably do it as a download, so if you check the notes below this video, and if you go onto the website and go onto www.3pspublishing.com/whole body workout, you can download the workout. It's absolutely free. All you need to do is put your email address in and you can download it. Why would you listen to me? Because I'm a personal trainer. I specialise in weights. I believe weights are for everybody. I've done lots of videos on here about individual exercises and some supersets, which are probably for some of the more advanced weightlifters. If you're starting out, this is a great routine, and the 2 other routines I'm going to do in this series are great introductory routines, either do at home in the gym. I'm avoiding using any heavy weights machines so that you can do these. Either you can do it at home, or if you're just starting out in the gym and you're not confident in the big weights area with all the machines, you can do these just with a bench. Now this routine I'm going to do now, you can use a bench if you do it at home, or you can use a chair, it doesn't matter. All you're going to need is 2 sets of dumbbells. 1 set medium heavy, 1 set light. That's all you're going to need. The rest is we're going to use as body weight. So what are we going to do? We're going to exercise all parts of our body. So we're going to exercise our legs, we're going to exercise our back and our chest, and we're going to exercise our arms. Now I am going to assume that you've done a warm-up before we start. Now that warm-up needs to be for 3 reasons. First of all, to just raise your blood temperature, your body temperature, so that you're ready to exercise. Second is to oil your joints, because when you start moving your body, your cartilaginous joints, which is things like your shoulders and your elbows, your knees, your hips, start to release fluid, which makes them move much more smoothly, and it means you won't get such an injury. And the third is to actually prepare your muscles, get the blood pumping through the muscles so they're ready for exercise. So warm-up's really, really important, particularly if you're working with weights, because you are deliberately stressing the muscles. So please warm up first, 5 to 10 minutes. Either do something like a rebounder, go for a walk. If you've got a running machine, use a running machine. Go for a cycle, use a stationary bike, anything to raise your temperature, and then do some dynamic, that's moving stretches. On this channel, you'll find some videos on stretching. So if you're not used to doing stretching, have a look at those as well. So I'm going to assume you've done a warm-up. We're now going to start and do a whole body routine. This has got 4 sets of exercises. I do them in pairs, and the reason I do that is just to save time. So this exercise routine shouldn't take you more than 20 minutes in the gym. So it's quick in, quick out. You can combine it with your cardio. If you're used to going to the gym or used at home to doing some cardio, going for a run, then all I'm asking is take 20 minutes off your workout 3 times a week, do these weights, and you will feel amazing and you will look amazing. So this is a great way to get into shape for summer. If you're a guy, this will start to give you muscle definition, which is what most men are looking for. If you're a woman, this is not going to make you huge, but it's going to make you look nice and taut in your swimsuit for summer. You're going to also feel better, you're going to feel stronger, you're going to have more energy to get through your day. So that's my sell to you about why to use weights. Now let's just talk about today's whole body workout. We're going to start with 2 sets of exercises for your legs. I believe your legs are your foundation, so it's really important if you're doing any sort of weights work that you include work for your legs. Now in terms of the legs exercises I'm going to do, these are 2 really basic leg exercises that you will do in any weights workout. As you get more experience, you can add more complexity, more weight, but we start off with a basic, what's called a squat, and then we'll do a lunge, and we're going to do them with dumbbells, so you don't need complicated equipment. So this is where your medium weight dumbbells come in. So we're going to do a lunge and we're going to do a squat. After that, we're going to do some exercise for your back. So we're going to do what's called a bent over row, which is really good for your back, and also what's called a good morning, which is good for your lower back. So I've done my legs, and you'll have done your back. Then we're going to go on to your shoulders and your chest. And for that, we're going to do what's called a bent over row, which works the back of your upper back. And then we're going to do a pullover, which works your pectorals, the front of your shoulders, and your triceps. So it's good for your arms. I haven't in this workout included any specific arms exercises, because at the introductory level, because you're doing in effect compound movements, which means movements using lots of muscles in your body, your arms are getting workout anyway, so don't worry about that. And then I'm going to finish off with a couple of specific exercises that relate to your chest and your glutes. So your bottom, your chest is going to be a push-up, and your glutes is going to be a lift of your bottom. So this whole workout, if you do it 2 to 3 times a week, you will feel a difference. You will actually see a difference. Your body will feel more firm. You will start to have nice shape. Start to lift your bottom. You'll start to have a nice open shape in your chest, a good shape in the upper arms. you should see as a woman an decrease in the bingo wings that you get here. So the aim of all is to give you an overall taut, fit look. It's not to look massive as a woman. As a man, what you'll get with this routine is, particularly if you progress to slightly heavier weights, you'll start to get a bit more size. You should get more definition in your thighs, in your glutes. You will start to see more definition around your shoulder area. So it's a really good all-over body exercise. So let's get going. Let me show you the equipment. So what I have here to show you is I have one set of dumbbells. These are medium heavy. I'm just working here with 7.5 kilos. That's about the right level if you're starting off doing a squat or a lunge. If you're a bit more experienced, you might go from 10 through to 20 Ks. But my mantra always is start light, get the exercise right, make sure you've got the balance and you've got the form right, and then you can build up to heavier weights. But it's pointless to start heavy, fall over and injure yourself. So I'm going to do this routine using a pair of 7.5 kilo. If that's too heavy for you, start lighter, start at 2.5. It doesn't really matter, because the point is these exercises are progressive, and to get your muscles to grow, you need to progressively load the muscles, not give them a massive shock and injure yourself. So start light and work up. So that's one of my sets of dumbbells. I'm using a 7.5. Let me get my other set. Right, my other set are much lighter. These are 2.5 Ks. This is mainly for my arm exercises, things like my bent over row. Again, once you feel how this exercise is with your body, if it feels too easy, then take it up, exercise in terms of your weight. The aim is obviously to go to the point where you start to struggle. And before we start, let's just talk about the number of sets and the number of reps. And put these dumbbells down. Okay, so in terms of sets and reps, there's no great science about this. Generally speaking, when you are starting out with weights, you want to do 3 lots of each exercise, working up to 4 lots of each exercise. And when I say 4 lots, I mean I'm designing this program in pairs of exercises, so there'll be 2 exercises together, 2 exercises, 2 exercises, 2 exercises. So each of those counts as 1 exercise, and I want to see 3 of those in a workout. And then as you get more experience, you can get up to 4 of those. Now, as you get good at these exercises, you'll start to find them easier. To keep up, and you need actually to keep the difficulty level up, you need to just increase the weight. You don't increase your number of exercises, you just increase the weight. That's how you start to train your muscles. In terms of those are what are called your sets. In terms of your repetitions, that's how many exercises you do per set of exercise. As a learner, you would do 12 to 15 reps, so you're lifting 12 to 15 times per exercise. So in a pair of exercise, you're going to do 12 to 15 of the first exercise and 12 to 15 of the second exercise. To check whether the weight is right, you should be struggling. You should find it difficult, more difficult, to lift the weight when you get to around about 10. When you get to 10, you should be struggling. If you're struggling before that, 6 to 8, the weight is too heavy for you. If you're not struggling at all, the weight is too light and you need to go to a progressive weight. I would recommend, if you're doing home exercise, that you have a range of dumbbells at home so that you can actually move up and down and work out what's right for you. I would also recommend that you write down for yourself the weights that feel right for each exercise. So when you do these exercises 2 or 3 times a week, you know before you start what is the right exercise for you. As you become more experienced, you'll start to learn, where your weight range is, and so you won't have to necessarily, if you don't want to, have to write things down. But to start with, it's a good idea to do that. So I said we would start with a basic squat and a basic lunge. On this channel, I have done a guide to squats and I've done a guide to lunges, so you can have a look at those, or I'm going to demonstrate these exercises now. I'll demonstrate them first without speaking so you can watch, and then I'll demonstrate them again showing form. So let's start with the squat. I'm going to use dumbbells for this. Remember, always, let me just show you, always bend your knees when you do any sort of lifting of weights on the ground. Let me just put these down. Never ever just bend over and pick up a set of weights like that, because you're putting stress on your back and you could very easily damage your lower back. As you get heavier as well with weights, you're going to be picking up more weights. Always bend from your knees. Now, so let me demonstrate first from the front and the side how you do a squat, and then I'll explain what I'm doing. From the side. Okay, put those weights down. Now, that's a basic squat. This movement exercises your glutes, your bum, your hamstrings, which is the back of your thigh. They also exercise the front of your thigh, your quads. You are also stretching your hip, what I call your hip flexors as you come up. It's a brilliant, brilliant exercise for your whole body. It will get your heart pumping. This can even be aerobic if you're doing enough reps of it, so 12 to 15. But it's a fantastic all-over body exercise. Now, what I did with the dumbbells is, pick them up, I had the dumbbells beside me. I didn't rest them on my hips, I didn't wave them about, I just had them loosely by my side, hanging down with my arms straight. What I then did was with my feet, hip distance apart, toes facing forward, so you can see, toes facing forward. The aim of that is that when you bend your knees go over your ankles. They don't splay out and they don't splay in. Part of getting this exercise right is watching your knees. It's a really good thing, if you can, to do this in front of a mirror so that when you go down you can see that your knees are going straight forward, they're not splaying in or out. If they're splaying in or out, you need to correct because you're actually putting stress on your joints and the force is going in an awkward direction. It's particularly not good for your knees, for your cruciate ligaments in your knees. So, as you come down, you're keeping your chest up, you're bringing your stomach in, you're not in any way trying to curve your hips up, you're getting a natural curve in your back, nice tall back, shoulders down, keep your head up, and you're coming down, just bending your knees, keeping your back up, and you're bringing, you're bringing the weights down towards the ground. I'll just show you the sideways on, nice tall back, weights by your side, but not resting on your hips. You're going to come down in this movement, you're keeping your chest up, you're sticking your bum out, keeping your feet flat on the floor, okay? So what you're not doing is this movement or arch. Nice tall back, bending down, keeping your chin, your head up. Now, when you get to the bottom, you don't rest, you don't pause, you come straight up. You should feel, as you come back up, that your glutes and your hamstrings are working. Now, as you get to the top, you want to squeeze your bum, your glutes, and you want to very slightly bend backwards. It's not an exaggerated motion, just very slightly over straight, and that's just to get that intensity at the end of the exercise. So it looks like this. Okay, so that is what a squat looks like. As I said, let's just put these down. Do 12 to 15 reps of that exercise, and you're going to do it in a pair with another exercise I'm going to show you now. But that is one of your basic leg exercises, fantastic for building, shaping your thighs, getting rid of the flabbiness at the top of the thighs. Getting you a nice worked out front thigh, quad, nice worked out rear thigh, glutes, and it just gives you a really good shape in your legs, okay? So that is what's called a squat. As you become more advanced, you can do that with a bar. You can also use other machinery in the gym to do that, but for home exercise and for introductory, I think it's much better to start with dumbbells. You can have a bit more control. It's easier to understand how you use the equipment, so you're more concentrating on getting the form right. That is the basic squat. I'm now going to talk about a basic lunge. Again, I will demonstrate it first with a set of dumbbells, and then I'll explain what I'm doing. I'll show you from the side. Okay, so what was I doing there? Just put these weights down. Okay, a lunging movement is a movement that goes backwards and forwards. What it works, particularly, is obviously your legs, the front of the thigh, top of the thigh, called the quads. It also works your hamstrings here and your glutes. So again, it's a great shaping exercise for your legs. It also works your core, because you've got to keep your back up, and you've got to keep your top body steady. So it's also, all these movements are really good because they're whole body movements. Compound movements, they work also the core of your body. It's also, to some extent, also works your shoulders because you're keeping the weight steady. Now, let me explain the posture. Put these weights up. Just like the squat, you're going to stand looking straight ahead with your feet facing forward, and when you move into the forward position, one foot comes forward, your toe must face forward. I don't want to see this movement or that movement. That's all about putting your knee and your ankle out of alignment. You want to consider almost like you're walking between two lines, and you have two parallel lines which face forward. You need to stay between those lines. So you're just going to literally bring one foot forward. You're not looking to cross it over your body, Just literally just take it straight forward, and then you're going to bend, and your back knee is going to come as far as it can down towards the floor. Don't bump it on the floor. Take it as low as you can while you maintain your balance. So you're going to bend like this and come back up. You will feel a fantastic stretch along the front of your leg when you do that. So it's like this, okay? And as you come back up, you spring that foot back again. You alternate legs, so you do exactly the same with the other leg. You bring it forward, bring your knees down to the floor, come back up, jump back. So you literally are just swapping legs, like this, okay? Now, one exercise is one of each side. So, one exercise would be, that counts as one repetition, okay? Show from the side again. One repetition is both legs, okay? Like that, all right? So, as with your squat, you do 12 to 15 reps. That is your basic leg workout as a beginner when you're starting with weights. It is a fantastic foundation. If you get those two exercises right and you work on your form, as you become more experienced, if you get into weights, that is the basis of all of your leg workouts. Whether you're going onto machines or to a bar or staying with dumbbells, as you get more advanced, having the basics right will mean that you develop much faster, you get strength much faster, you get size if you're looking for size much faster, and you avoid injuries. It's really, really important that you start with the basics and you work up from them. Those are my first two leg exercises, so that's the leg part of my workout. We're now going to go on to the back part of my workout, so let me just move this equipment out of the way. Right, we're going to do what's called a dumbbell good morning and a bent over row. A dumbbell good morning works the lower back, a bent over row works the upper back. So we've done your legs, we're now starting on back, and this is done my back pair in this workout that I'm saying you should do 2 to 3 times a week. So this is when you pick up your slightly lighter dumbbells. You probably can use a heavier one for the good morning, but you want to use a lighter set for the bent over row. So let me show you the good morning first. So take a dumbbell, medium weight to heavy weight. I think the reason it's called a good morning is because in effect it's a bowel movement. I think that's why. I quite like the name of it anyway. Now, what in this exercise you're going to do is you're going to bend over from the hips, keeping your back nice and long, and you're just going to pivot like this and then back up again. You're going to keep your stomach in, back nice and long, and you're going to do this movement. And it works the bottom part of your back. There's a little bit of work on your legs, keeping your legs stable. Small amount of work on your shoulders because you're keeping the weight stable, but it's mainly for the back. The main trick with this exercise is to make sure that when you move, that you have the weight close to your body. So you're going to stand so that you are, again, feet hip distance apart, and you're going to bend over. Let me demonstrate and then I'll explain what I'm doing. Shins in front. Right, let me explain what I did there. Okay, so, as I said, this one will work your lower back. You're going to stand, feet hip distance apart. Almost all these exercises, the basic alignment is hip distance apart for your feet, toes facing forward. Hips square. You're going to keep your body, lower body, almost completely still. You're going to have the weight next to your chest, so you're not waving the weight around. You're essentially going to pivot from the hips, so you're going to pivot like this. It's that movement, okay? We're not looking for a hunch, not looking for an overarch. Keep your back nice and tall, as if you have a string pulling it up. It's almost like a ballet pose, or a pose where you feel like you're being stretched on a rack. And then you're just going to pivot from the hips, keeping your stomach in, and you have the weight here. You pivot like this. You will feel a good stretch in your hamstrings. So it also works your hamstrings and glutes, this exercise. But it's really good for strengthening the lower back. This one, sheath in front. Don't go too heavy initially. Start maybe with a 5k weight, maybe work up to a 10k weight. What's more important is that when you come down, you have control. And go down as far as you can until you can feel a pull. Go down as far as you can until you can feel a pull in your hamstrings. Don't go any further than that. And then as you come back up, squeeze and feel it. Squeeze with your hamstrings and your glutes. And as you get to the top, as we did with the squat, you will just slightly overcompensate. Very slightly come back and again squeeze the glutes. With all of these exercises, if you think about the muscles you're using and positively contract them, you'll find you'll get quicker results. Okay, so as you come back up, just squeeze. Okay, so that's your deadlift. Sorry, that's your good mornings. Now we're going to do a bent over row. So we've worked the lower back, now we're going to work the upper back. And this is what you want to go slightly lighter. Again, I'll demonstrate it first and then I'll explain what I'm doing. On the side. Right. So, bent over row, as I said, works the upper part of the back. The aim is to feel the muscles at the top between your shoulder blades and on your shoulders. You want to feel them contract as you lift up, because as you're lifting, you're actually contracting your upper back, and you can feel it. You should be going. You should get to the top. Just show you, if you've got the weights here, as you come to the top, you should actually contract the top of your back and squeeze and squeeze and squeeze. The only difference is you tip forward slightly, so you've got, the point of tipping forward is you have more resistance because you're working against gravity, and it's this movement, squeeze, 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 okay? So, those are your two exercises for your lower back and upper back, sunshine and a bent over row. Both work with dumbbells, go heavier on the sunshine, but just keep an eye in terms of your form so that you're making sure that the weight is close to your chest. Bent over row, you get good progress with the bent over row quite quickly, so just watch your weight on that. Both of those exercises should be 12 to 15 reps. You do those straight after your leg exercises. So we've done now our legs, we've done a back, now we're going to come to chest and shoulders. Let me just move this equipment out of the way. Right, we're going to do a shoulder press, standing, and we're going to do a bent over rear delt lift. So the shoulder press works, standing works mainly the mid part of the shoulder, and then a bent over rear lift works the rear part of the shoulder. So what you get, because the shoulder is quite a complex set of muscles, or the muscle has a number of what they call insertions and where it connects, but you're looking to create an overall worked out appearance in the top part of your shoulder. Now, in this exercise, we do actually a shoulder press standing up. You'll see a lot of people do a shoulder press sitting down. There are different views about that. I mean, I quite like doing shoulder press sitting down, but probably the reason I like that is because the back of the bench is giving me some support in my lower back. If you're actually looking at a whole body condition, it is actually better to stand up to do your shoulder press, because you're not then using any artificial aids to stabilise your body. You're getting more of an old body workout. And also, if you're up against a bench when you're doing a shoulder press, to some extent you are restricting your shoulder blades, and in a shoulder press, obviously your shoulder blades are also moving. So again, if you're a purist, you would work into your workout some standing shoulder presses. So if you're in the gym and someone says, "Why are you standing up, mate?" explain to them that it's actually a more thorough workout because you're freeing your shoulder blades, and it also makes your core and your lower back work, so it's a better all-over exercise. But if you prefer to sit down, and I often do a mix, then you can do both. As a beginner, can I suggest that you start to do your shoulder presses standing up so you get used to stabilising your body as you do them. So let's start first of all with the shoulder press. I'm going to bend down slightly so you can see. Okay, so how do you get these weights up to your shoulders safely? What you don't do is throw them up above your head. You do it in stages, and you take one arm down at a time. So you swing up to your shoulder, you swing up to your shoulder. Let me show you that again. Okay, you swing up to your shoulder, you swing up to your shoulder. I wouldn't be surprised at all actually if a lot of weights injuries were caused actually by getting the weight into position rather than injuring yourself in the actual exercise, because I think people do very dangerous things in getting the weight into position when actually it's quite easy. You just need to take it one arm at a time, so up to the shoulder, and then one above your head, one above your head. I want to come down a bit more. Maybe for this, what I'll do for you, because I want to make sure you can see what I'm doing, is I'm just going to perch, but I've got no back support, so I'm still exercising my back. So I've now got the weights above my head. I'll point about how you hold weights in a shoulder press. Okay, if you can see, my hands are off centre. My hands are towards each other on the weights, so they're not sitting in the centre of the weights. The reason I'm doing that is, if I were to slip, or if, for example, my upper arm were to tire, and I were to lose my grip or lose my power, if I was holding the weight in the middle, I might well bring it crashing down on my head. As it is, because I've got more weight on the outside, I'm more likely to go out than in. Can you see? So it's actually from a safety perspective, that's why you hold the weights off centre. And if you see experienced weightlifters in the gym, then this is how they will hold weights. So start that way, get used to it, because from a safety perspective it's really important. Now, classic shoulder press, I'll show you and then explain what I'm doing. Okay, now I'll show you without the weights and explain what I'm doing. So, at the top motion, I'm not clanking the weights. That is a pointless exercise and is something which is done to draw attention to yourself. It also actually takes the stress off your shoulder muscle. So actually it's a cheat and it's going to actually affect your workout. What I'm doing is from the top, I'm coming down with control and I'm taking my shoulders to just below horizontal, just below. I don't want it all the way down here. Go as far as you can as you come down until you feel that you've reached your limit. I've got a shoulder injury on this side, so I'm always slightly careful I can't come as low as I used to be. That shoulder injury will get better and I train around it. And if you're interested in what you do about injuries, I've actually done a video on training around injuries. We all get them. This actually isn't an injury from weights, it's actually an injury from being thrown by a horse, because that's another one of my sports, is I ride horses that are dangerous enough to throw you. So, you're going to come down, keeping your back up, head up, chest up. Your elbows are going to come slightly below horizontal, then you're going to come back up. You're going to come down and back up. What you're not doing is this movement or that movement. It's literally, you're trying to bring your forearms so they're vertical, but your elbows are coming down just beyond horizontal and back up. Okay? It's that movement. Keeping your chest still, your back still. You don't see any sort of swinging, and we certainly don't want to see any arching. So I don't want to see this movement. I want to see my back nice and still. It's that movement. And up, that movement. Okay, that is a fantastic all over shoulder exercise. You will feel that all over your shoulder. So you're going to do 12 to 15 reps of that to start with. Look at your weights. If you're not tiring by 10, you need to increase your weight. If you are tired by 6, you've got too heavy a weight. Start light, develop your technique, and then go heavy. Okay. The other exercise we were going to do was a rear delt, so a rear shoulder exercise. So the one we've just done, the shoulder press, works the whole shoulder. I particularly like developing my rear shoulder because often doesn't get any particular work, and this is a good exercise for that. So again, you're going to use dumbbells for this. Don't go too heavy. Start with 2.5 to 5s and see how you go. I'll demonstrate the exercise first, and then and then I'll explain what I'm doing. To the side. Okay, so this is for the rear delts. You stand as usual. You're going to stand with your feet forward, hip distance apart. Knees are soft, so don't lock your knees. Knees soft, slight bend in your knees. You're going to tip from your hips, keeping your back tall. You're going to tip forward. You're going to tip forward about 30 degrees. Your weights are going to be by your side. They're going to be loose in your shoulder joints, so you nice and no tightness in your arms. Then you're going to lift with your elbows and take the weight slightly out. When you get to the top of this exercise, you're going to squeeze the rear of your shoulders and your shoulder blades. As you come down, you make sure that you let the weights hang nice and low. Let them go as far as they can. That nice stretches the muscles, helps to pump blood through the muscles, which helps develop them. So you're going to come lift and squeeze at the top, bring them down. Do not swing. You do this under control. And squeeze at the shaking side. Tip 30 degrees at the hips. Back nice and tall. Squeeze and down. Squeeze and down. Squeeze and down. Okay, so that is how we work the shoulders. We did a shoulder press for the whole shoulder, and we did a rear delt lift for the rear of the shoulder. We're now going to move on to doing our chest, and for this set of exercises we're going to do a press up but at an angle, and then we're going to do what's called a pullover, and the pullover also works the triceps, so it's good for your bingo wings. Again, no specialist equipment. In fact, this one, again, you just need one dumbbell, and you need either a chair or if you have a bench at home. If you're at the gym, just go to the area where there are benches, because that's the easiest way to do an incline press up. So again, I will demonstrate and then explain what I'm doing. Make sure you can see. Okay, so I showed you two forms of press up there. The first was a basic press up, the second was a dynamic press up with a clap in the middle. The only difference between the two of them is the level of power you have, and the adding of the explosion at the end is really good for progressing your strength and adding a bit of speed, and it fires different muscle fibres, and it's also quite fun. So if you're finding that the normal press up is too easy, then add the clap, because that will increase the intensity. So you've got two levels of a basic incline press up there. Now, when you do the press up, let me just talk to you a bit about posture. Okay, so when you're doing the press up, your body needs to be like a plank. Can you see? I'm not like this, and I'm not sunk. I'm literally a straight line from my heels to the top of my head. And it's very similar to a plank exercise. As you bend down, your hands are shoulder width apart, your fingers are facing forward. As you bend down, try and keep your elbows in. And again, see, try and keep your elbows. Now, why are you doing that? You're doing that to protect your shoulder joints, because if you let your elbows splay out, you're putting stress on your shoulders. Whereas if you do this movement, you're using your triceps and your chest to lift you, and your shoulders are being protected. So it's this movement. As you see, my back does not move during this exercise, okay? I can feel my core working to keep my back stable, so it's really also very good for your core, this exercise. So you're going to do this movement. If you're adding the clap, as you come up, you've literally just got to spring off the bench. Okay, do it again. Okay, so that is your press up. That is actually even better for you than doing a bench press. And a lot of people in the gym, you see them doing bench press and maybe not press ups. Why is the difference? The thing about a press up is, because you're not lying down, your shoulder blades can move freely. So you get a much better range of motion when you're doing a press up. So again, it's much better for your chest muscles, because you're getting a better stretch, you're getting better movement through your shoulders. So I would recommend, certainly as a beginner, in terms of building your strength, to do press ups in preference to doing a bench press. Because a bench press is great, but you are lying down and you're therefore squashing your shoulder blades. So that's your basic press up. I'm going to finish this workout with what's called a pullover. There are two ways to do a pullover. You can do it lying full length on a bench, or you can do it on the edge of a bench, and I'm going to show both. Lying full length on the bench is probably the entry level, and then if you do it on the edge of the bench, it's slightly more advanced, but the basic movement is the same. You need a dumbbell of medium weight. You probably would start with around about, say, 5Ks, and once you're more experienced, you can go up to 20Ks plus. But again, just take it progressively. Because you're taking a dumbbell above your head, I would suggest strongly that you use chalk, because you want to have grip. And I'm just going to show, where is my chalk? Let me find my chalk. Come back to me, find my chalk. My gym bag always has loads of stuff in it. I really hope my chalk is in here. That's great. Someone has borrowed my chalk. Ah, here we go. Right. So this is my chalk, liquid chalk. Again, there's a video on this channel which talks about equipment you should need in your gym bag. And one of the things I suggest in doing anyway is to have this in your gym bag because it's much less messy than loose chalk. Often gyms don't have loose chalk, they can't find the loose chalk. Some gyms even unbelievably complain about you using loose chalk, even though it's a safety device. Much easier to carry this. It's discreet, it's not messy. You basically give it a shape, put a tiny, literally that much on your hands. Rub your hands together. You want to concentrate on your fingers because that's where you want to grip. Give it a couple of minutes, I'll come back and show you that the chalk has worked. Ready? Look, it's starting to work. Can you see? That just gives you enough grip that when you're putting a weight above your head, you're not likely to slip, okay? So, let me just get my bench set up and we'll get going. Right, the pullover. First I'm going to show you prone on a bench, then I'm going to show you half off the bench. Just move my bench now. Okay, so I'll demonstrate first and then I'll explain what I'm doing. Right, that is a straightforward pullover. That's the entry level. Let me just show you what I'm doing. Obviously I'm lying down. I'm going to grip the dumbbell but at one end. And you grip it in this motion. So one hand on top of another, fingers splayed over the plate. So you're balancing the plate on your palms of your hands. So it's this movement. Now, when I take this over my head for the first time, I turn my head to the side. The reason I do that is because if I haven't got a firm grip of the weight and I drop it, I don't want to smash my face up. At worst, if I have my head to the side, I will smash a cheekbone. But if I were to face the weight and take a weight on my face, you can imagine the damage I would do. So this is, again, just basic health and safety when you're lifting a weight for the first time, before you know you've got it firmly. So you're going to have it in this position above your head. Right, I know I've got it firmly now. I take it over my head. Get a good stretch. Do not arch your back. Keep your back against the bench. You're going to take the weight as far as you can behind your head and you're going to lift it back up. Bring it towards your chest. You don't need to bump it on your chest, but just bring it towards your dead chest and then just literally just go back down again. You'll feel a good stretch in your shoulders and your upper chest. It's brilliant for giving you that really nice worked out look just below your collarbone. You know, where women in particular can get quite skinny below their collarbone, I don't think it's a great look. It actually gives you a really nice cushion of softness just there. It doesn't look flabby, it looks worked out, but it gives you, I think, a very attractive upper chest. On a man, I think it's one of the most attractive parts for a man is, you can tell a man who works out if they have good muscle form just below their collarbones. It also works what are called the serratus, which are the feather-shaped muscles that sit on your ribs. So often bodybuilders will use this exercise for the serratus more than they use it for the upper chest. So for men in particular who want to create that look where you get the insertion of the almost the sort of feather-shaped muscles on the side of the ribs, this is a very good exercise for that. So that's how you do a basic pullover. At an entry level, if you do a press up and a pullover, I'll put this down. If you do a press up and a pullover together, you will end. That's a really great chest workout. I'm just going to show you, if you want to move on, the other level of pullover, which is off the bench, but still using a bench. Again, you don't need a bench, you can use a chair for this. If you don't have a bench at home, then you may have to go straight to this level because you can do this with a chair even if you don't have a bench. Let me just adjust the bench and I'll show you how it works. Okay, so let's move it slightly so you can see. Straight, same thing. I'm going to pick up a weight. I will show you how it's done first, and then I'll explain what I'm doing. Okay, just to show you quickly how to put the weight down, lift it there. Right, what I was doing there is I was sitting on the edge of the bench. The aim of that is you get a greater stretch, so again it's very good for the serratus muscles. You get a better stretch than just lying prone. So you can really stretch out your body and stretch out your shoulders as you go over your head. So what I'm doing is I'm coming down onto the bench. I tend to lean against the edge of the bench, get my back so my shoulder blades are on the bench and the rest of my back is off, and then I'll move my legs out. Take your legs out as far as you want to take them, toes facing forward, feet together, and then what you're going to do is literally just drop your bum. Let me come down a bit so you can see. Just literally going to just drop your bum. Okay? You're going to have the weight in this position. Keep your bum still. What I see sometimes in the gym is people who bring the weight over their head and then lift their body to reach the weight. Number one, that prevents you getting the stretch that you're trying to get, but then it becomes a glutes and hamstrings exercise, which this is not meant to be. So I always stop people doing that and say, leave your body still, concentrate on your upper body. This is an upper body exercise and a serratus exercise. So you're going to have the weight here, you're going to keep your hips still, you're going to come over your head, and you're going to touch, come over your head, and you're going to touch. When you finish the exercise, don't chuck the weight, number one, because it might hit somebody else. Number two, because you're then potentially putting stress on this shoulder joint. Literally keep the weight on your stomach, put one arm on the bench, just literally turn to the side and tip it onto the floor, okay? So that's the safe way to finish that exercise. So, I've given you a basic 8 exercise workout that's really, really good as an entry level workout. If you want to get the actual workout on paper, then all you need to do is go onto the website, which is www.3pspublishing.com/workout, beginner's workout, and you can pick up the actual sheet which will give you these exercises. Make sure you've watched this video before you go into the gym. Start light and work up. This is a fantastic way to start with gym exercises. You will end up looking so much better after 3 months if you do this 2 or 3 times a week, that you will hopefully never look back. It's a really brilliant way to start. I hope you enjoy it. If you've got any queries, you've got any comments, then do get in touch. You can reach me at hello@3pspublishing.com, or you can just leave a message on here on YouTube and I'll come back to you. I do respond to the comments that are left. You can also reach me and post comments on Facebook. We are at facebook.com/3psmedia. It's been an absolute pleasure. I hope that this has been helpful. I really enjoy teaching and I like to pass things on. Is there anything particular you'd like me to do? Then again, just get in contact. There are 2 other videos in this series. There are 2 other introductory workouts. So watch the others as well. Decide which one you think is right for you and just get to it. Go to the gym, add them to your workout. Promise you, you'll feel better for it. And I'll see you soon. It's been a pleasure. Bye.